Are you ready to branch out, to take a leap of faith, to love yourself and others fully? Then let go of whatever no longer serves you to take action now on Get Rooted Radio with Erica Gifford Mills. Living it up, loving it up, and letting it go. Erica will energize and excite you to power up your passionate dream that sets your soul on fire. With Erica's E3 approach, equipping, empowering, and enlightening yourself so you can be yourself for yourself. Get ready and get rooted to live a life without regrets, without what ifs, without should haves, and especially without empty feelings from a life unexplored. This hit show helps you build powerful and intentional roots to live it up, love it up, and let it go. Get fearlessly ready and powerfully rooted in your yes with your host, Erica Gifford Mills, and be fearless about your more and stand in your yes. Now on Get Rooted Radio.
Welcome, everyone. I am Erica Gifford Mills, and you are listening to Get Rooted Radio, living it up, loving it up, letting it go, right here on Transformation Talk Revolution. Shout out to my producer today, Jessica. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm very good. Thank you. Happy to be here.
Happy to have you on as always. Well, today's episode is titled From Silence to Sovereignty, What Love Really Is. And in today's episode, my guest, Khadija Zahra, and I will explore the journey of healing the inner child and reconnecting with the woman beneath the roles that we all play. Khadija shares how faith, food, culture, and introspection helped her rediscover self-love and spiritual authority. This conversation reminds us that living it up begins with loving ourselves enough to let go. But a bit about my guest before we jump right in. Khadija is an international author, speaker, and founder of a global women's forum devoted to healing, leadership, and embodied wholeness. Born in Morocco and raised by her grandmother before immigrating to the United States, her life has been a cross-cultural spiritual journey through multiple faith transitions, including a year of study in India. With more than 20 years as a business owner and personal chef, she integrated food as medicine into her work before expanding into hands-on healing as a massage and cupping therapist. Her award-winning memoir, Khadija's Journey, What Love Is, chronicles her path from losing her voice in service to others to reclaiming identity, self-love, and spiritual authority. Today, she helps women across cultures reconnect with their truth, their bodies, and their sovereignty. Thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you. Bismillah. Thank you.
So during this first segment, we're going to talk about the roots, where love first begins. So as I said in the introduction, you were born in Morocco and raised by your grandmother. Before we get into that, in those early years that shaped your understanding of love, I want to ask you a personal question. And what was your relationship with your mother?
Oh, good question. Yes. My relationship with my mother was complicated and at times volatile. There was love there, but it often came wrapped in pain and instability. She loved me and I loved her in the best way. She loved me in the best way that she knew how, and yet she couldn't give me what she herself could not never receive. As I've grown, I've come to understand that hurt people don't always know how to nurture. With that understanding brought me much compassion, and it gave me the strength to break the cycles of repeating them with my own family.
And I'm sure that did shape the early years of understanding love.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm grateful to her because if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be digging so deeply into this healing journey that I've been on.
Yeah. Now, Morocco, it is on my bucket list, but what was it like immigrating to the United States and navigating two very different cultures?
Oh, yes, it's drastically different. I can say that. Growing up in Morocco with my grandmother, the love was not something we spoke about, but it was something we lived. And it was in food she prepared, the way she prayed, the way she looked at me, and the way she held me. Love was nurturing, love was devotion, and in those quiet moments, I felt safe, loved, and at home, you know?
Yeah, no, and I think we all have that childhood experience and how they influence the way we define love later in life. How do you think that is for women, or why do you think that is for women?
Uh, can you repeat that again?
Yeah, how do childhood experiences influence the way we as women love later in life?
Absolutely. We mimic our parents, you know, however they treated us, we're gonna mimic that behavior. If we lived in survival and fight or flight, we end up attracting the same energy that our parents taught us. Basically, that's what
Yeah.
it is.
And so your role of your umi, your grandmother, and that ancestral wisdom, how did that role really shape resilience and that nurturing strength in you?
How well, because she, with her prayers, with her unconditional love and consistency, she was patient, she was kind. And I just, those first 7 years were very impressionable for me. I never forgot. Even after 1972, we came to the US, my grandmother still would come and visit us. Yeah.
I love that. I didn't have a lot of time with my grandparents, so I love that, you had that experience. But as you were growing, when did you first start feeling disconnected from your own voice and your identity?
I would say it wasn't much longer when I came to the US, around 10 or 11, that age. And we were traveling a lot as a Navy brat. So, it's a cultural thing too, to be obedient and submissive to your parents and do as you're told. And there's also some shaming, cultural shaming, religious shaming involved. But this was our household, and I was the oldest.
Yeah, and I was going to ask that the difference between that maybe cultural duty and authentic self-expression. How did that battle out?
Well, sometimes it didn't battle out very good because I had a mind of my own, and I sometimes resisted. But I was a loving child. I had this capacity to love, and I wanted to take care of my mom and my brothers. I was the nurturing one. I took the role like my grandmother.
Yeah. So, of course, your grandmother had a profound effect on how you saw love. And as the title of this first segment is, your roots, where love first begins. And how did that shape you then kind of moving on into the rest of your life? And I know we're going to talk a little bit more about silence to awakening next segment, so I don't want to get too much into that, but how did
Right.
that really ground you and as your roots to start taking shape?
Well, it started taking shape, I would say, when I realized um, the cultural duties and the authentic self-expression needed to be revealed. And when I hit rock bottom was the time for me to wake up and do the inner work. It was no longer for me to just allow this to, let it go. I needed to do the nurturing love and prayers that my grandmother had taught me and pass it on to my children, to do the inner work. I mean, it's been a journey, but I'm still, a healing progress and still working on myself. And I'm grateful for this journey.
Yeah, and I mean, I think we're always a work in progress. I mean, I think we can always get better and develop new understandings of not just ourselves, but the world around us. And I think
Correct.
that this is going to be a great time to take a quick break because I don't want to get into the next segment too much. Because when we come back, we're going to talk about silence to awakening. But
Oh,
before we go, Khadija, tell
yeah.
folks how they can connect with you, learn more about you, where to get your book.
Yeah, we have khadijasjourney.com is my website. Check me out there or in social media, Khadija Zahra, in Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Um, I just came out with a workbook called Whispers of Love, which has a lot of reflection, introspection, and some recipes as well. And then also my audiobook with my voice. It's been narrated with my voice. It's on iTunes and Audibles. So I'm really excited that I'm getting it out there.
I love it. And again, award-winning author, ladies and gentlemen. So you're going to want to get yourself a copy of Khadija's Journey. So again, when we come back, we are going to get into more on silence to awakening. This is Get Rooted Radio with Erica Gifford Mills. Living it up, loving it up, letting it go. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. We're leading in boardrooms and living rooms, in startups and schools, on stages and in silence. The Lead, Live, and Love Like a Woman trilogy is a bold, unapologetic book series for women who are done waiting for permission. Hi, I'm Erica Gifford Mills, and I didn't create this trilogy to teach women how to lead, live, or love. We are already doing that. We need your voices. Apply now to become a co-author and share your story in this powerful movement. Visit balancesymmetry.com.
Are you ready to break free from self-sabotaging patterns and reclaim your power? I'm Beck Nelson, licensed therapist, spiritual mentor, and psychic medium, helping individuals achieve true personal liberation through my Beckology framework. This step-by-step system shifts your mindset, strengthens your intuition, and empowers lasting change. Work with me through single sessions, 90-day or 6-month programs, or explore my courses, books, and coaching. Visit becknelson.com to get started.
I'm Tristan, a shaman, astrologer, and human design reader. I help unravel spiritual ideas to create change and growth in your life. Whether you are just beginning or need a knowledgeable best friend with the next phase of your journey, I'm here to help. Think of me as your pragmatic shaman bestie. I work with high-vibe, lovely people like yourself in personalized sessions that will leave you with a sense of clarity that energizes you to make impactful change. Connect with me, your pragmatic shaman bestie, at musingsandmodalities.com.
Vicki Todd is a memoir artist and sculptor whose female nude figures have been featured in juried group and solo shows in New Mexico and beyond. She is also a playwright and performed a one-woman show called Shine Happy Shine, and recently wrote a second play, Does This Make Me Delusional?, which she hopes will hit the stage in the near future. You can view Vicki's artwork and one-woman show at vickyworldart.com. That's vickyworldart.com.
Do you want to become a host? Start your own podcast to inspire, persuade, and influence others on what you're passionate about? At the Transformation Network, we can help make your talk radio dreams happen. Let's take your hopes, dreams, and passions and put them on air today. Email us at host@transformationtalkradio.com to learn more about becoming a host of your very own show.
Welcome back to Get Rooted Radio with Erica Gifford Mills. Living it up, loving it up, letting it go. If you missed any portion of today's episode, you can catch it at getrootedradio.com. Don't forget to subscribe online to receive the latest news, events, specials, and words of encouragement. Go to getrootedradio.com. Welcome back to my guest, Khadija Zahra. Thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you.
So
Thank
during
you for
our
having me.
absolutely. I'm so excited for you to be on.
Thank you.
During the first segment, we kind of heard your origin story and discussed where love first begins. And during this segment, we're going to talk about from silence to awakening. So
Okay.
we started getting a little bit into it last segment, but I would just say, at what point did you realize you had been living in self-abandonment?
Yes, there came a moment in my life when I realized I was exhausted. I was tired, not just physically, but spiritually and emotionally. And I had been showing up for everyone but myself. you know? And that's what self-abandonment looks like. It's subtle. It's saying yes to everything when you mean no, right?
Boundary
And
management. Oh, my listeners know I
yes,
talk about boundaries all the time.
we all do it. I mean, and it's ignoring your intuition and allowing your voice to shrink, you know, and it's just that's when I realized that I'm abandoning myself.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned losing your voice and shrinking. What would that look like in everyday life? Like losing your, like just stop
Yeah,
speaking your mind. How do people see? Because sometimes they don't even realize we're doing it when this
we
happens.
don't. We
And
don't.
then
It's
you look
subconscious.
back and say, "Oh my goodness, like it was right there." But when you're in
Yes.
the moment, you don't always see it. So what does it really look like in everyday life?
Losing your voice, it really looks like everyday life is right. For me, it's pain became my teacher. The pain became the teacher. Betrayal, the heartbreak, the loss of identity, all of it cracked me open. And what it felt like breaking was an awakening, actually, of sorts, you know? And for me to keep seeking and exploring the truths of myself.
So you mentioned betrayal, trauma, right? How did the betrayal, the trauma, and the identity loss become part of your spiritual awakening?
Yes, this is also, as much as you think it's a curse, it's a gift. Because if you don't have these, you don't seek outside of yourself. I needed to do the deep introspection and step outside of myself. That's how you have to do the memoir. And I couldn't have done it if I didn't do this memoir. So I had to step out of myself to understand and look and look within myself instead of pointing the fingers at others.
Right, the self-awareness, the self-reflection to
Correct.
actually do that work. Yeah.
To do that
So
work.
so it was, I mean, of course, a spiritual awakening, but an over whole body awakening.
It's a whole body awakening. Absolutely.
Now,
Yes.
in your memoir, you had mentioned a phrase, spiritual authority. What does that mean to you?
When I speak about spiritual authority, I mean having a direct relationship with God without fear or shame. It's knowing that inner voice that matters, right? And that that is the intuition that is sacred. And that's how we hold ourselves accountable, is by taking the responsibility and be in alignment with the truth of the authority of your inner authority, you know.
Yeah. And I love that because you're, some people call it your gut, some people call it intuition. I sometimes like to call it my inner GPS, right? Because
Exactly.
it's leading you.
It's
And if you,
compass.
yeah, if you you allow yourself to follow it, otherwise it's just going to keep saying rerouting, right? And we have to have, and I love how you say spiritual authority because it is the authority. Allow yourself, do that self reflection, do that self awareness to be able to be led by yourself, right? Because it's your, like you said, it's your inner GPS. Um,
Absolutely.
Speaking about inner, you also talk about healing the inner child.
Yes.
What does that actually require?
Well, that's some deep work. And yeah, that's not an easy one right there. And I had to be careful. I did write about it in my workbook, Whispers of Love. So healing the inner child required me to sit with that little girl inside of me that felt unseen, let's say. Okay. It required honesty, therapy, tears, prayers, journaling, more therapy. It can be messy. It's a lot, and it can be ugly. There's no prescription for that, but the inner work and self-love, being easy on yourself, and understanding that the body never lies, because your body, you're going to have emotions, you're going to have pain in your body. We just need to sit and comfort and be kind to yourself. Be easy when you're in that transition of healing the inner child, you know. That was big for me, and I had to put that little girl and use my visual imagination and sit her on my lap and talk to her and let her know what her bright future looks like.
And yet, like you said, it's messy. It is messy. It's hard, but you do need to trust the process. Give yourself
Absolutely.
space and grace. It is going to be
Absolutely.
It's going to be stressful, and that could show up as physical sensations and physical, you're tired, you're drained.
Drained. Yes,
But there is light at the end of the tunnel, right?
there
Once you get
is.
through it, and I think there was something you said that it's the courage. It takes courage to admit that you need to change your life.
Absolutely. You have to want to do it.
Yeah. Well,
A lot
yeah,
of
nobody
us
can do it. Nobody can do it for you. It's
nobody can do
your,
it for you.
yeah,
And
it's your work, your responsibility.
that's right. And so if you don't do it, you'll be on a stagnant energy where you're repeating yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's the important thing. You have to want to do it. If you do it for
Exactly.
somebody else, it's not going to be successful.
No, you have to do it for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So what would you say to listeners? We're talking about from silence to awakening.
Right.
What would you say would be, the number one tip or 3 tips to really think about when they're going from that silence to the awakening?
I think one of the tips I would say is when you silence your truth, your body raises its voice. Okay. And the bravest thing a woman can do is listen to her body and choose differently.
I love that. Say that again.
When you silence your truth, your body raises its voice. That means you're going to feel it. And the bravest thing a woman can do is listen to her body and choose differently.
Yes,
Yeah.
I love that because it is so true. When your body tells you, it gives you signs, it gives you hints.
It
And
does.
sometimes we just ignore it. And it's going to get to a point where you can't. I mean, I'll make this an I statement. I did that back in 2016. I was ignoring, and I ended up having a stroke. And I thought I was in the best physical condition that I was. It was my mental and emotional condition that I was not the greatest at. And if, your body gives you all the signs, and you just have to listen. You have to listen.
Yes, and we have that intuition as women. We have a lot of intuition within us if we just connect to our divine self.
Yes. Well, let's take a quick break. And when we come back, and I love this, we're going to talk about living it up, loving it up, and letting it go. But before we go, Khadija, tell folks how they can connect with you, learn more about you, and get a copy of your book.
Yes, please. Yes, go to khadijasjourney.com and you can click on there to order any one of my books, the workbook or Khadijah's Journey with Love or the audiobook as well on iTunes or Audibles. And I am all over social media. So please join me and let's be friends.
All right. Thank you so much. I am Erica Gifford Mills, and you are listening to Get Rooted Radio. Living it up, loving it up, letting it go. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Tired of feeling exhausted as a parent? I would love to help you with a new vision for yourself that is focused on intentional wellness parenting. My name is Aurelie Cormier, and I have over 40 years experience with complex cancer patients. I offer consultations, coaching, and educational programs for parents who want to boost their health and reduce risk of disease, especially cancer. For more information, go to aureliecormier.com.
You're thinking your purpose in life? Become a certified hypnotherapist and regressionist today. Bryn Blankenship is a renowned certified master hypnotherapist, international instructor, and author. In addition to her own show, Afterlife Teacher, Soul Lessons Bringing You Full Circle, Bryn is a popular radio show guest who speaks about her soul expression spiritual regression, her transformative method for finding and following your soul's guidance. For more information on her hypnoregression and afterlife regression certification programs, visit brynblankenship.com.
What if one decision could change everything? Cherise Evans, best-selling author of The Power of One, The 5 Essential Keys to Success, knows that transformation starts within. Let Cherise help you discover your authentic self and live with confidence, purpose, and joy. Whether you're ready to grow your career, your relationships, or your mindset, Cherise can show you how to elevate. Book with her today at shareevans.com.
Without Fear is a Chattanooga-based death doula practice helping individuals and families navigate end-of-life transitions with grace, courage, and compassion. Death doula Alexis provides emotional support, practical guidance, and space to explore life's deepest questions. Through grief support, workshops, and education, Without Fear is breaking the taboo around death and empowering people to embrace mortality as part of living fully. Visit withoutfeardoula.com to learn more and find a safe space for all things life, death, and the in-between.
Are you ready to get big and live your life out loud? Tune in to Get Big Out Loud Radio, exploring life through the lens of curiosity and compassion. With me, Carrie Knudsen, joining Dr. Pat live every second Monday at 10 a.m. Pacific on TransformationTalkRadio.com. I will offer ideas to transform what you are thinking into conscious action. If you want to get big and live your life out loud, visit me at KnudsenSpeaks.com.
We're back on Get Rooted Radio with Erica Gifford Mills. Living it up, loving it up, letting it go. Don't forget to visit getrootedradio.com to listen to a replay of this episode, sign up for helpful tips, and learn about upcoming events. That's getrootedradio.com. Welcome back to my guest, Khadija Zahra. Thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you.
So during the last segments, we discussed your origin story and where love first begins, and from silence to awakening. And during this segment, we're going to discuss living it up, loving it up, and letting it go. So I love it that you wanted to name it this segment that, because, you know, it fits with the Get Rooted Radio. But what did you have to let go of in order to truly love yourself?
I had to truly love yourself. I had to let go of the roles that were suffocating me. And I had to release the need to be everything for everyone. Okay. And I had to let go of the guilt and the shame. And sometimes I had to let go of the relationships that no longer honored or was becoming or serving me.
Yeah, it's the superwoman syndrome. I like to say, hey, I'm all about being Wonder Woman, right? Because Wonder Woman is a state of mind. But the superwoman syndrome, when you think you have to be all, do all, for all,
Everything.
And that perfectionist, right? And we don't owe it to anybody else to do that.
So true.
And you mentioned kind of family roles. So how do women, because I think many women fall into that superwoman syndrome, but how do women unknowingly abandon themselves in relationships and in family roles or in faith and traditions?
Yeah, good question. Women unknowingly abandon themselves. When they confuse love with self-sacrifice, they silence their needs to keep the peace in the house, overextended in the family roles, or following traditions without listening to their own inner truth. It happens like in small moments, saying yes when you mean no, or causes you to not be yourself, and you end up doing things you never thought you would do.
Yeah.
So you sacrifice. It's sacrificing yourself.
Okay, because that's what you're supposed to do, right?
Right.
I think most people have been there in one form or another that, well, no, isn't that just what you do?
No.
And it's like, you can break the rules of how you were raised if it's no longer serving you. And I think that is something that we have to remember. And it's not about ego or self-worth, right? It's about self-worth. So
right.
Explain to listeners, what is that difference between ego and self-worth?
Wow.
That's hard. W's and R's for me. Self-worth.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, ego is superficial, right? So that's what the ego is. Everything is superficial. But when you do the inner work, self-love, you can't confuse those two. Self-love is meaning you love yourself enough to know how to set boundaries with people that cross the line. yourself and others, vice versa. I mean, we have to learn to set the boundary. Some things you have to hold close to your heart. It's yours. It's private. It's your business, or you don't allow someone to hurt you. We allow other people to hurt us when we allow them to hurt us, by the things they say or do, and because we want to keep the peace. We don't want to stir the pot.
Yeah, was it
But
Eleanor Roosevelt said, nobody can make you feel inferior without your permission?
that's right.
Same thing, right?
That's right.
So, but what does loving yourself look like in practice, not just in theory? Because I mean,
Right.
I think we all know this, right? I think
Yeah.
our heads know it, but then how does it actually work in practice?
Well, in practice, it looks like boundaries, right? It looks like rest without apology. It looks like eating nurturing food, moving your body, praying, journaling, or listening to yourself, to that inner voice, that intuition. But loving yourself is also forgiveness. It's a part of letting go, not to excuse what happened, but to free yourself from carrying it throughout your life and other relationships.
Yeah, and I like that because a lot of people think, well, if I forgive him, I forget him. No, like forgiveness, and you can forgive somebody, but not forget.
Yeah.
You can forgive somebody and not let them part back into your life. Right.
Right.
You can forgive because you don't need that burden anymore. But that doesn't mean that person, it's Ellie Malaxos, I'm gonna say her name wrong. She gave this such a wonderful example of boundaries, right? It's like, think about boundaries as your home, including your yard. So you might not let somebody into your backyard.
Yes.
You might let somebody into your backyard, but then you're not going to let that same person into your house. You might let somebody into your house that you wouldn't let into your backyard, that is in your backyard.
Right.
And then you can remove people from your house to the
Right.
backyard or on the other side of the fence. They don't have to stay. Once they're in, doesn't mean they always have to stay if they're not respecting the boundaries.
Absolutely.
So if someone comes in and breaks your dishes, guess what? They're going back outside again. So yeah, I think that's such a great point about forgiveness, for others and for yourself, because we make
Exactly.
mistakes.
People make mistakes, or you don't know what they've been through in their life. They can't give you what they don't have. You have to be in a place of acceptance and go, okay, this is all this person can do, and they can't see what they're doing. So I either I'm going to surround myself with that energy, or I'm going to set a respectful boundary.
Yes. And I love that. So what things did you do as part of your healing journey?
I did a lot of things, Erica. A lot. I'm a massage therapist. I went to massage school. I did different modalities. And then I also had different types of therapy, because there's so many layers, and I've had quite the journey. When you read my book, you'll see there's layers. There's the culture thing, there's the religion thing, there's misogyny, there's, I had to do the introspection of both of my parents to heal myself, but just doing and then ultimately I learned all the simple things, put them in practice. It's work. It's exhausting sometimes, and it can be emotional. Just like that's why writing this book has been the highest level of healing for me, Erica. Really.
And the funny thing is that how many authors I've talked to in the past, like probably month. I mean, before that, but just really in the past month, who've said, I never planned on being an author. I wrote because it was my therapy. And then I thought, oh my gosh, maybe other people need this. I mean, that's how I started.
Exactly.
I never intended to be an author. I never wanted, that wasn't a life goal. I was not a writer.
Right.
And just like I was never a speaker either. I went to speech class through high school.
Oh,
I probably still should have
my gosh.
gone. Like, I stutter, I talk too fast.
Yeah,
My
I took
W's, my
speech
R's.
classes too. Yeah.
But it was all right. Maybe my story can help somebody else. Maybe
Exactly.
what I went through can be their roadmap. And I really wrote because it was my therapy. It was my extension of my journaling. And it's just so funny because in the past month, so many people have said, I wrote because it was my therapy. And, it was hard, but getting it out meant I was releasing it. I
Yeah.
was letting go of it. So, before we go to a quick break and wrap up this segment. So we're living it up, we're loving it up, and we're letting it go.
That's right.
So we're loving ourselves. We're letting
Yes.
go of our past mistakes. We're letting go of resentment. We're letting go of that forgiveness. And so what are we living? What are we doing for that living part of it?
Well, I think living it up doesn't mean perfection, right?
Yes.
And it means alignment. And living it up means choosing yourself daily. And letting it go means trusting what leaves and creates space for what is meant for you.
Oh, I love that, because just like the phrase YOLO, I disagree with YOLO. You only live once. No, you live every single day if you choose to. You die once. So
That's right.
live every day.
Every day.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
it's your last, right?
Like
I
it's
love
your
that.
last. That's the best.
Yes. So we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to finish out the show with Rooted in Wholeness, becoming the woman you were meant to be. This is Get Rooted Radio with Erica Gifford Mills. Living it up, loving it up, letting it go. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
If you're feeling stressed, overwhelmed, or in grief, I'm here to help. I'm Faye Lau, intuitive healer and founder of Faye Inspired Healing. Through soul-guided sessions, I help you reconnect with your body's wisdom and inner truth. Whether you're healing from loss, letting go of pain, or rising into elevated energies, my work combines energy clearing, grief support, and spiritual coaching. Schedule a session or learn more at fayeinspiredhealing.com.
There is more to life than simply surviving or even thriving. There's flourishing. High performance and quantum success coach Beth Larson helps you calibrate and elevate your life. Beth specializes in working with women who want more from their life, more energy, joy, passion, connection, and more meaning. As your coach, she will help you get clear about your life, prioritize what's important, and become a master of your energy. Visit BethLarsonCoaching.com.
What if justice wasn't just about systems, but about the soul? Join us on the Spiritual Justice Show with me, Eric S. Lee, on the Transformation Network each first and third Tuesday at 10 a.m. Pacific. We bring together leaders, healers, and change makers to explore a new vision of justice, restorative, transformative, and deeply spiritual. Find out how spiritual justice could be your missing piece to transformation.
You ever feel it? That whisper just beneath the surface? A deeper part of you ready to rise? At Aligned Energy, we don't just inspire change, we embody transformation. This is where high-performing women come home to themselves, where the masks fall away and the real you steps forward, powerful, radiant, and fully alive. This is Manon, energy alchemist, transformation coach, and best-selling author, guiding women leaders from burnout to purpose. Together, we will reconnect with your innate wisdom to clear energetic blocks and activate your eros and life force, awakening the sensual, sovereign self within. For the wild-hearted, for the ones ready to get clear, stop performing and start becoming. This is your invitation to rise and step into your power, purpose, and possibility. Visit AlignedEnergyHealing.com to book your exploratory call or session today.
Welcome back to Get Rooted Radio with Erica Gifford Mills. Living it up, loving it up, letting it go. If you missed any of the information during the last segments, go to getrootedradio.com to listen to a replay. Don't forget to subscribe, sign up for tips and special events and prices for upcoming coaching and speaking sessions at getrootedradio.com. Welcome back to my guest, Khadija Zahra. Thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you.
Tell folks how they can connect with you, learn more about you, and get a copy of your book and workbook.
Yes. I have a website called Khadijah's Journey, What Love Is. I'm sorry, the Khadijah's Journey, What Love is my memoir. khadijasjourney.com is the website. And then we have the Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. And you can also click on Audibles and find me there for my audiobook and iTunes. And I also have Whispers of Love. It's a workbook that helps women connect with their true divine self and doing the inner work.
Awesome. So during the last segments, we discussed kind of your origin story, where love first begins, from
Yes.
silence to awakening, and living it up, loving it up, and letting it go. During
Absolutely.
this last segment, we're going to discuss rooted in wholeness, becoming the woman you were meant to be.
Absolutely.
So now today, what does it mean to live fully for you?
For me, it means living in truth. Okay. And I no longer perform for approval. I no longer silence my voice to keep the peace. I choose discernment and peace within myself.
Yes, I that is so important. And
Yeah.
and I, like you said it last segment, it's, I don't like to say balance, right? But because you're never in balance, right? You've got so many things going on around you, but are you in alignment? And
Yeah.
I think being aligned in who you are is so important, because then you can feel that whole.
Absolutely.
If somebody listening here feels lost or stuck, where do you think she should begin?
If a woman is listening, feels lost, I would tell her, begin small, sit in silence for 5 minutes and ask yourself, what do I need? Ask your body, not what your friends need, not what your family needs, and not what society wants you to be or what it needs, right? But really, truly ask yourself, what do I really need? And in that moment, listen to that whisper.
I love that. So for you, and what is love truly?
For me, love.
Yeah.
Love is feeling at home, being yourself, and without fear, shaming. It's a feeling of, feeling of wholeness, being your true self. That's love for me.
Yeah. I love that, because love is not always a person, right? I mean, we have to start, of course, with loving ourselves, because if we
Oh,
don't love
gosh.
ourselves, how are we going to love anybody else?
No.
But I like how you said it's that feeling. And when I was working with a client, we were talking about finding their passion, right? And I would say,
Right.
find your passion on purpose.
Absolutely.
I don't say, what do you want to be? When's the last time you felt joy? When's the last time you felt fulfilled? Because those are things, the feeling.
Right.
Okay, now what were you doing from that? And granted, I get it. You have to make money. Otherwise you're not going to be able to survive.
That's
But
right.
what are you doing for your purpose, right? You're finding your passion, your purpose, your why.
Yeah.
What have you been doing that made you feel joyful, fulfilled? And
Yeah.
that's going to bring that love in. And then you
Yes.
can expand it kind of in all facets of your life. Tell me one thing, well, or two things, it doesn't have to be one,
Yeah.
about Khadijah's Journey, your memoir, and your companion book, that you think women need to know.
Well, okay. Khadijah's Journey is about losing yourself and having playing those roles and having when you lose yourself, now you gotta be able to find yourself, right? Get back to your truth and who you are. And being born in Morocco and raised by my grandmother, in between cultures and faith and traditions, I had to ask myself, what is love really, right? And the question had led me to spend more time alone in India when I spent 6 months in India by myself, where I stripped away all the conditioning and redefined what love is. And with this book, and the companion workbook, it's going to help women do a little bit, ask those tough questions that you don't want other people to ask you. Be able to connect with your that little girl or that little, child of yours that you are. This book also shares my perspective and my experiences. I'm not a scholar or a psychotherapist or anything, but these are my experiences and how I did the work from my life and what helped me.
Yeah. And you never know, folks. And just because one thing doesn't work doesn't mean something else won't. So
Exactly.
we have to try, just like you don't know you like something until you try it. And
That's right.
yeah. So what's next for you? You have a recipe book, don't you?
Yes, my kids keep bugging me about doing a cookbook forever because I was in the restaurant business. So that's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to doing that. And then I'd like to do a continuation of my second memoir, So yeah, those
Expanding
two
on the
things.
healing work. Yeah,
Yeah,
expanding
and
on
then
your healing work. Yeah.
healing
And I love
work where I am now today.
And listeners, if you didn't see on the show promo and preview information, there is a giveaway of a Moroccan chicken recipe, right? Yes. And so we have that out there. So definitely, I have it on my list to try. Yes. So be sure you take a look at that. So I want to thank you, Khadija, so much for being on the show today. Any last remarks for our listeners?
I just want to say that we are born whole and there's nothing lacking in us. So make sure you also, as women, protect your essence because that's sacred. That is special. A lot of times we give so much of ourself that we lose ourself and our essence.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I want to thank you all for tuning in to Get Rooted Radio. If you missed any part of today's episode or want to listen again, go to getrootedradio.com for the podcast. And don't forget to tune in the first and third Mondays of each month at 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central, and 2 p.m. Pacific right here on Transformation Talk Revolution. Have you been yearning to get on the stage? Well, come and join Khadija and I because we have an invitation. Everything begins with one single decision: to lead like a woman. Your journey starts inside the Women of Influence Accelerator, which is a high-level 6-week virtual speaker training designed to prepare women to rise, refine their message, and own the stage with clarity and confidence. From there, you go on to this global spotlight at the International Women Speaker Summit on Saturday, May 16th. It's a stage where women from around the world gather to rise, speak, and claim their power publicly. And at the end of that journey, that night, we will have a red carpet recognition dinner, a celebration honoring all those speakers to use their voices to create a meaningful change. So the accelerator prepares you, the summit elevates you, and the red carpet dinner recognizes and honors you. Message me to find out how you can join the movement, but we are limiting this to only 15 speakers and space is going quickly. So please reach out for more information. And as we close out today's episode, I want to remind you that you are worthy. If you are hurting or need help, please know the world is a better place with you in it. Don't let the hard days win. Reach out for assistance. Call or text the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline or text HOME, HOME, to 741-741 to reach a trained crisis counselor. They are both available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and are free. Thank you for tuning in. I'm looking forward to the next time on Get Rooted Radio with Erica Gifford Mills. Living it up, loving it up, letting it go. Goodbye, everyone.
Thank you for listening to Get Rooted Radio with Erica Gifford Mills. Living it up, loving it up, and letting it go. Visit getrootedradio.com if you've missed any part of this hit show. And tune in on transformationtalkradio.com to live fearlessly in your more and powerfully rooted in your unlimited yes. For more information and to work with Erica directly, visit getrootedradio.com. That's getrootedradio.com and get ready to live it up, love it up, and let it go.